everyone. We're back here to discuss this week's module of our class. Funny thing is that we're all in confinement by now, and when I was thinking about the Marquis de Sade the other day and the amount of things that he had written while he was confined, because most of his life, adult life, he spent in confinement, going from one jail to a soul asylum, as they used to call them back in the days, mental institution. Um, it's kind of interesting to think about maybe how much we can produce once we're confined. Maybe it takes a little bit of a transition period in order to get there, and especially for those of us who have kids, it's a little bit more complicated. But anyway, we're here and just hoping that everybody's okay. I'm sending my best wishes. Stay at home. Don't do anything crazy. I'm sure everybody knows. So anyway, this week I've thought that since a lot of those texts have been adapted to films, it'd be interesting to have a couple assignments um, connected to the idea of adaptation, right? Especially with Liaison Dangereuse, I would like everybody to watch at least one of the many versions, even if you're in the Spanish tradition, because I think this book has had a huge impact on Spanish literature. Not right away, but rather later on, at the beginning of 19th century, right? Interestingly enough, it's being translated as Amistades Peligrosas. So the peligrosas translate the idea of dangereuse, right? Dangerous, but the liaison is transformed into amistades, which I don't think is a great translation for the title, right? Liaison is a little bit more complicated, especially if you understand French. You know, it usually means something more of an affair. But in the case of the liaison dangereuse, it's not so much affair as it's connection, right? So I know we've discussed that some of you guys like epistolary novel and some of you do not. But when it comes to amistades peligrosas, dangerous liaison or liaison dangereuse, um, we're dealing with a text that is absolutely amazing, right? Think about what it is for an author, even though he kind of washes his hand, no pun intended. I know we're washing our hands so much that my friend was telling me the other day that he washed his hands so much that he can actually see the little cheater he had when he was in high school, right? It resurfaced. But anyway, going back to Laclos in the preface, where he claims that he's just a rédacteur and not author, um, wants to wash his hands from authorship. It's something we've seen before, long time ago, right? Even before Cervantes. Cervantes also washes his hands from being the author of Don Quixote in the same preface. So we can fantasize that somehow Laclos, and probably because it was a very read book around the time before the French Revolution, around the time of publication of the Liaison Dangereuse. So the same idea of I don't want to be the author, right? I found those letters, I have edited them, and I'm just presenting them to you, right? Same idea as we had in Cervantes' Don Quixote. And but when you think about the amount of work that it is to write this collection of letters, supposedly encountered, it is just truly amazing for an author to do that. One of my favorite book. Very enthusiastic about it. That I cannot hide it. Um, but yeah, I mean, we're at the end of the aristocratic regime, right? The revolution is about to come. It's boiling up, as you would say. And a book like this comes right at a moment where, philosophy and religion are reach the climax of their conflict in 18th century France. And Spain would like to have the same kind of conflict. At least a lot of intellectuals in Spain would like to have the same kind of conflict, but it is just not happening on the same level. So for all those intellectuals like Goya, and for those of you who had the chance to see Goya in Bordeaux, you see how the end of his life is so tormented. This need to reconnect with the homeland that is just impossible. Something that you'll see again, I mean, we see in some Spanish out there during the dictatorship of Franco, right? That will also go into exile to France. But again, Spain is not having the same kind of debate as what's happening in France. Spain will not have a revolution. Although at the beginning of the 19th century, there's some attempt to get there, but it just won't happen, right? Um, so sad, yeah, sad could be, the topic of an entire course. Which, by the way, I give a seminar on sad and sadism every once in a while, where we cover all this. This week I've chosen dialogue between a dying man and a priest because it is short, right? Unlike a lot of novels from Sade that are extremely long, right, and very repetitive, which is a big criticism um, about Sade, right? The fact that it's so repetitive. But in the dialogue between the priest and the dying man, we have kind of, a concentré, right? A concentrated version of all of Sade's philosophy. And this is what I'd like you to appreciate if you get the chance. It's available in English, it's available in Spanish, and obviously in French for free online PDF. So it's a quick read, and since I assume that nobody has started reading, um, maybe it would be a good idea that everybody focuses on that and read that. It is really a short read, right? And then we can discuss it. So um, I have prepared a series of assignment. I hope you enjoy it. As far as office hours are concerned, I will be opening the Skype tomorrow at 11, and it'll be open all day. So just let me know if you need to talk to me, and I know we can work out some adaptations as well when it comes to final papers. And don't freak out. We can totally discuss it and see what plan we can come up with. Okay. So again, enjoy the module. I hope everybody's okay. Miss you guys. I miss being in a classroom really bad. This is nice, but not the same. Not the same. All right. Take care and a bientôt. Hasta luego.